For about 20 years, I was a very serious-minded, practicing fundamentalist Christian. And I don't use the term fundamentalist to be derogatory, but by fundamentalist I mean specifically, I believe the Bible was the inerrant Word of God. I believed in a literal heaven and hell. I believe Christ was the sacrifice for the sins of mankind. Probably after about 20 years, I had finally gotten to the point where there were two aspects of fundamentalist Christianity I could no longer accept. So as a fundamentalist, I would have viewed it as sexual depravity. I would have thought that these people are terribly mixed up, immoral, and I would have chalked it off to an open rebellion against God.
I don't particularly believe that being transgender has anything to do with a sin or anything negative, really. I don't see it as being negative. I see it as an issue, a disorder. I see it as much different. You know, I was born in the wrong body.
Well, there was one passage in Leviticus that talked about men not being able to wear women's clothing and women not being able to wear men's clothing. And depending on who's doing the interpretation, and that really is the key. In Romans, after they have exchanged what they know to be true, someone could interpret that verse to mean, as I said, any form of homosexuality, bisexuality, transgender desires, or anything else would be God's way of punishing them because they turned away from the true worship of the true God. Now, as a Unitarian Universalist, I look at those verses and I say, well, Paul had an issue, but it's not my issue.
They'll become brute beasts. God said in the last days the people will have no fear of God. They will become as irrational, brute beasts. And they think they're a bunch of monkeys. And that's the generation you were raised in. A generation that told you you were an animal. So you might as well live like an animal.
I have total faith in the Lord, and I know there's parts where the Lord, says that's not right. But the thing is we are who we are.
So what? That's not how we live our lives today. That's not how we run our churches. That's not how we view our fellow men and women.
I have a meeting with my therapist this week to discuss testosterone and stuff, and I just kind of want to make sure that she knows that I'm gonna go ahead and do that and kind of maybe get her to sign off on it. I've been seeing this girl named Christina for like 2 months, and she's queer identified, and she goes to Tennessee State University right now. She's originally from Las Vegas. I've known her for about 1.5 years, and she's really awesome. So it's been working out pretty well.
Take a look. Stand up. Don't even try it. Reading.
I've been on T for 2 weeks. I've noticed a few changes. My voice is dropping a little bit. My muscles feel different, like they're working better. I'm more alert if I'm not sleep deprived.
Glide, James.
I don't know how to glide.
Moonwalk.
I've been with him a lot in public, and I have seen instances where he didn't pass or was called she. And I see how it hurts him, and it makes him uncomfortable. And I know that I'm always really quick to correct someone.
I'm gonna bring you out. No, I ain't coming up. No.
Touch the mixer again. Back it up to a hot stove, huh? What you gonna do? What you gonna do with the hot stove? It's nice to know that he's happy and doing what he needs to do.
I mean, you are who you are, and just remember that, and get to know that. Get to know who that person is. And then that's the key to being happy. So. Today, I went to the doctor, of course, to get my testosterone and received my first shot. So I'm really excited about that one, if you can't tell.
Okay, I guess
It is definitely an interesting experience because I was nervous and I don't know why I was nervous, but I was excited in the end, and then kind of had like a second birthday.
This is mine.
These are what I would draw the testosterone with. They're 18 gauge needles. Definitely wouldn't want to put myself in the butt with that one. And then
Now, the lower the gauge, the
higher the number, the smaller the needle.
lower the number, the bigger the needle.
Bigger the
Okay.
needle. The last few months has been a huge roller coaster. From getting my name changed, of course, was huge, but also telling the parents. That was the big hill, like going up the big hill. And once I got the parents out of the way, it just seems like, you know, everything's been smooth sailing for a while. Things have been going great. And now that I'm on my testosterone, I can't wait for my changes. I can't wait for my voice to lower. And just things start falling into place. It's like one big jigsaw puzzle, and I've just started figuring it out. Biggest change, you know, voice has gotten deeper. It's still got about 2 more months of drastic change to go through. From what I've seen, like just measuring from other people I've seen. But as you can see, you can kind of see a little bit of the Adam's apple. My voice now has drastically changed how much I pass. You know, at work, I'm getting less and less and less she and her. I mean, it's gotten to the point where newer employees that come in don't even know the difference. The changes I've seen already, only 2 months in, I'm really excited more now to see what the future is going to hold. And once I get my surgery, what that's going to open the door to. And after I get my nursing, what that's going to open the door to. I'm more excited about what's going to happen. I'm more optimistic now.
Mainly what we learned was for the phalloplasty, it's going to be a somewhat lengthy surgery, and I will probably be in the hospital for at least 23 hours, maybe more. The first process for the actual phalloplasty is going to cost around $26,000 to $30,000, somewhere around in there. Of course, pending on the hospital times and stuff like that. Then the urethroplasty, which would be lengthening the urethra in order to be standing up, that's going to be around $60,000 or more for the whole time. And then the last one is going to be probably around $10,000 or so. So altogether, it's going to be around $90,000 or more. Me and Heather were looking forward to the bottom surgery, but it's not something that I need for tomorrow in order to get through my daily life. Whereas the top surgery was definitely a lot more of a need. The binding was getting way too painful to do and emotional to handle. If the insurance does cover it, or if we have the money to pay for it, then we will do it. But if we don't, then we're just going to wait until we do. So it's not necessarily a question of if I do want to, it's just a question of when. I would really much rather not wait forever, But, you know, if I have to wait 5 years, I have to wait 5 years. There's nothing I can do about that. So.
Activism is mostly in the LGBT community. Trans people are notoriously prefer being stealth, and it's hard to create that base of activism. A lot of people are really afraid of that. The point is that when there's discrimination, when there's harassment, it doesn't matter where your category is, it doesn't matter what label you want to put on yourself. When someone hates you and wants to deny you basic rights, including the right to live, that's what matters most.